Good afternoon, everybody. It's Donette Palmer with Proverbs Financial Coaching. And this month I am focusing on wealth partners, who they are, what they are, and how to find really good ones. And today I have two estate planning attorneys with me, Shannon and Danielle. And I'm not going to even attempt to say their last names because I will butcher it. But I want to say thank you guys so much for coming and being here with us today.
Thank you so much for having us.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Yeah, so let's start off by learning a little bit about you guys. Give us a little bit about you and your background.
So I'm Danielle Guy, and this is my sister, Shannon Wazorek. Together, we make the estate planning firm Wazorek and Guy. But we're more than estate planners and attorneys. We're also wives and mothers, and obviously, as I said, we're sisters.
Awesome. Okay, so tell us a little bit about your journey in becoming an attorney.
So Danielle and I both went to law school a long time ago. We come from a lawyer family. Our dad is an attorney, so it's always something kind of in the back of my mind that I wanted to do. Um, Danielle had a little bit of a more weaving path to get to being a lawyer, but when I became a lawyer back in 2004, I was a DA. I worked for the city of Long Beach and also for the county of Los Angeles. And Danielle was working at Paramount Pictures, and she was in entertainment law. And we both had very different careers than we do now. And then eventually, back in 2009, so we're like almost 13 years ago now, we started with Zork and Guy. And we've been working together, her and I, ever since.
Once we became mothers and we had, got our homes, we really realized the importance of estate planning. So our interest in the law really shifted at that point from, I love music and wanted to be in film, and that was what I started out as. And then once I realized, as what became important to me shifted with more focus on family, became a natural fit, especially to work with my sister and to, do what we do.
Right.
How we got
Motherhood
here.
definitely changes everything, right?
Every
last thing.
But that's awesome.
Mind,
yeah. But I love how motherhood does that, right? We get a different perspective on life, a different perspective on the world. And the great thing is that we can pivot. We don't have to stay where we're at. We can change and pivot into something else, which I love. And so, well, tell us, you guys work together. How is it working together?
So it's wonderful. I mean, obviously we're human and we have we have a sister relationship and we get annoyed with each other sometimes, and we have our arguments here and there, but ultimately we're so close. Our families are close, our husbands are close, our kids treat each other like siblings, and she's she's my person. So it's like she gets what I'm saying. We both have the same ideas when we're analyzing a case. She's a perfect person to talk about things with, and go through an legal analysis with, and then more than that, we both have different strengths. So to have a business together with two people that are so like-minded but also have strengths in different areas it really works, and I'm very thankful to work with her.
I feel the same way.
Yeah. That's awesome. I love it. So who brings the hammer down?
Yes.
You got to have that person, right?
You have to have that person.
That's awesome. So did you guys ladies develop a niche? Are there specific people you like working with, or maybe that you just attract?
Yes.
Sorry, there's a little bit of a delay. So we are totally focused on estate planning. We also do trust administration and probate. And, we work with a lot of families who have young kids and business owners. Um, and once we started only doing estate planning, we really found that, people who are our peers, like our age, we have young kids. So really fell into, helping people that are, in like life situation as we are, and also business owners and, all of the other estate planning things that come up, which is a lot.
Yes, I am finding that out as
As
I
you
go in
know,
my journey.
exactly.
Yeah, as I go in my journey, I'm finding out these things too, and that's one of the reasons I wanted to bring you on, was so that we could talk about that, and make people more aware of it. Because what I find is that when I talk to people and you talk about, oh, you need an estate plan, they're like, I don't even own anything but a house. It To them, it's like you have to have all this money to have an estate plan, or these investments or properties and stuff. So I really wanted to bring you guys on to talk about that, to just educate and bring people aware that almost everybody needs an estate plan, right?
Yes, really, they do. I mean, I think you kind of just nailed it. People don't really understand what an estate plan is. Oh, I need to have an estate to have an estate plan. And that's kind of Shannon and my mission, is to educate, our community, and, let people know, an estate plan isn't just for the rich. It's people who have children who need to make sure that their kids are going to be with the right guardian should something to happen to them. It's for, like Shannon mentioned, business owners or people who own a home. And what you're doing with an estate plan is really you're planning for incapacity and you're planning for death. And the reason why you're doing that is so you avoid conflict and, court for your family. So nobody wants to go to court. And that's basically what we're doing. And it's more than planning for people who are rich. But you want to avoid probate. A lot of people don't understand why, but that's basically what we're doing.
Right. And I think something you also said was, if we were to pass and we had children under the age of 18, who would take care of them? And this would put that person in place. I thought about that a lot when I was bringing up my children. We never moved on the estate plan, but I did think about it a lot, because I won't tell you why, because people are listening, but it's like you have to have somebody you truly trust and that will do the things you would have done to take your children.
Exactly. And if you don't put something in writing in a legal document, then your voice isn't going to be heard, because you won't be here. You're not
Yeah.
there with us. And so it's a stranger, a judge, deciding who is the best person.
And the judge is not going to pick who you would pick 99% of the time, because who looks good on paper might not be the person in your heart that loves your kids as much as you do, or who has the same parenting values as you do. So, someone might have a good job on paper and own a home and be college educated. So judge goes, oh, well, that person looks really attractive as a guardian. But you might know, oh, well, that person is, values work over time with her kids. And that's not what I want for my children. And all those things need to be considered.
Yeah, very true. I think there was a movie about that. Some parents passed away, and they actually gave guardianship to the wild child sister, and not the one that seemed to have it all together, because of what that sister could teach them that the other one couldn't. So that's a great point, and some things to consider. It's not just about who has the most money raising your kids. So you talked a little bit about probate. What is probate?
So probate is a court process to pass your things and make decisions on your behalf once you pass away, or once you become incapacitated. There's also a court process. So it's basically what is the creditors?
It's a lawsuit
Thank
that
you.
you file against yourself with your own money for the benefit of your creditors.
Thank you. See, she knows what I've been meaning to say.
She
So
finishes your sentences for
she
you.
really does. That's why I appreciate it. So basically, people, they hear the word probate, but they don't really get why they want to avoid it. And, you know, when people come and meet with us, we like to give them some education on what actual probate would look like for them in their specific situation. But we like generally say there's 3 drawbacks to probate, why you want to avoid probate. And one is that it's very public, meaning anyone will know what you have when you pass, and a lot of people don't like that known to the world. Plus, it opens up your heirs for financial predators.
Not only what you have, but who's getting it and how much it's worth. Like those are things that people don't like to talk about. But
right.
Go ahead.
Right, exactly. And so as soon as you file for probate, you file the documents for probate, there's people there that are getting these lists of the, what's on the docket, who, what matter it is, what the case is. And then they start reaching out and sending their, get rich quick schemes, and do you want to sell your house, and da 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 da. And it's gross, and that it's something that a lot of people would want to avoid. So being public, one drawback of probate. The second one is it is very timely. It takes a long time. So right now in COVID, it's crazy. Like we're filing probate cases, and we're not even getting their first hearings for like 4 to 6 months out. Wow. And but even if there wasn't a global pandemic, there, still like a short probate would take like a year, and then it can take even, up to 2 years. And if it's contested, meaning if somebody has, disagrees with you, or then it takes even longer. So that's the second reason. So the first reason, it's public. Second, it takes a really long time. And then the third reason why people should want to avoid probate is that it costs a lot of money. Just to go through the probate process, it costs a lot of money. And that's money that just comes off the top of the estate, doesn't go to the people that you love. It's not accessible for the people right away it goes back to the length of time that it takes. The money isn't accessible for the people that your loved ones that you want to take care of. So those are basically the 3 reasons why you want to avoid probate.
So probate is almost an act of love, right? It's not for us, it's for the people that we leave behind, so that they can spend their time grieving and not being in the courtroom or with the headache of that whole thing, or the fighting, right? I see so much fighting when people pass. It is so incredibly sad.
Yes, I'll just correct you. You said probate, but I think you meant estate planning. Yes, so estate planning avoids all of that.
Yes, I'm sorry, you're right. Estate planning avoids it all. It is a gift to your loved ones to do estate planning. So what happens to, like, let's say a house in probate? Is it just sitting there? Can people go in and out of it? What happens to it?
Yeah, so when someone passes away that owns a home, you have to file a probate action, and nobody can even like attempt to sell that home until there's someone appointed administrator of the estate or executor of a will. So, and like Danielle said, filing that first filing can take 4 to 6 months to even get your first court date. And then once you get your first date, you're like, there's other orders and documents that you're waiting for to come back from the court. So even to get the house listed on the market, it's going to be like 6 to 8 months. It's crazy. Wow. Long time. And then if so you could be the only beneficiary, and it would probably go fast because you're just doing it for yourself. But if there's 2, 3, we have a case right now where there's 16 beneficiaries of one half of a house, which is, it's crazy. But you can't get all those people to agree on something. If you can get everybody to agree, then sometimes you can move things along faster. But, in the case of the 16 beneficiaries, like that case is going to take so long because you have to have the court literally decide everything, and you have to ask for permission from the court. And like, it just is a very long time.
Wow.
And then once you have a buyer, you have to go back and have the sale approved. Like it's very complicated.
Wow. That sounds like a big headache.
And I'll just add a stream of consciousness here. But for a house that's going through probate, you're going to pay probate fees based upon the fair market value of the house on the date of that person's death. And that is not how much equity that person has in the home. So if somebody has $100,000 of equity, but the house is worth $750,000, you're going to pay probate fees percent of 750,000, not 5% of 100,000. So it's so expensive.
Yeah, it sounds expensive. And so what about life insurance? So if the life insurance is going into the trust, then those beneficiaries have to also wait if it goes into probate. I'm sorry, if there's life insurance and it just goes to probate, or do they get paid out?
So life insurance, you can name a beneficiary on life insurance. So that is a tool you can use to avoid probate. But it depends who. So first of all, a lot of people don't make sure that they have their beneficiaries named or their contingent beneficiaries named. And if they're naming their children who are minors as beneficiaries, minors cannot inherit. So that those proceeds from the life insurance will be pulled into probate.
Okay. Well, that's good. Okay. So a lot of people,
not good.
It's good and it's not good, right?
I know what you mean.
It's good that they have the life insurance, but like you said, they don't always put the people on there that should be on there so that it goes to the correct people. And then it becomes almost the same kind of mess as a probate, right?
Right. And well, that's kind of all part of doing estate planning the way that we do estate planning. Is it's a really comprehensive process. It's, we really want to take a look at everything you have and make sure that if something happens to you, it's going to go the way that it needs to go to take care of your loved ones, whether you become incapacitated and someone needs to step in and use your funds to pay your bills or to take care of your kids, or if you pass away, that it's going to go the way that you want it to go. So it's really taking a comprehensive look at everything that you own. And life insurance is a big part of that, especially for people who have minor kids, making sure that, we touched on naming guardians before, but you don't want to, when you're thinking about naming guardians for your kids, you really want to pick people who are going to align with your values, not somebody who necessarily has money. You should try to take care of those financials yourself. And a really good way to do that is to get life insurance.
That's great. Okay.
And so we don't sell life insurance.
That's just as the same.
Yeah, I know we could go super deep into this, but we don't want to make everybody fall asleep with all the information, right?
There's a lot.
So a lot of times I'll hear people say, is a will good enough? I have a will, I'm fine.
Well, no. Where there is a will, there is a probate. So people sometimes have a false sense of security with a will. They think that is enough, but it's really not, because you're not avoiding probate. And so you're still, going to have to go through that public process. It's going to take a long time and it's going to cost a lot of money.
Wow. Okay. So hopefully you guys hear that. If you have a will, you still need an estate plan.
Yes.
And one thing you were talking about doing this comprehensive look into people's lives and what they want to, how they want everything to be distributed. And that's something I appreciate about you guys, because I've had clients that went and got a estate plan done and they didn't ask all those questions. And, there's a lot of stuff left unsaid or left unwritten that need to be taken care of, especially if they have smaller children. and they weren't asked those questions. So, what is the worst case you've seen where someone said, "Can you help me?" and you just couldn't?
So we've had, I don't know how to quantify worse, but really recently, as of like last week, we had someone reach out to us. Um, Her mother was diagnosed with Alzheimer's and was suffering pretty badly from it. And she had an estranged husband that, you know, the woman who has Alzheimer's had been so clear about how um, she didn't want to be on life support, and she didn't want her estranged husband to have anything to do with her assets. She wanted it to go to her kids. And the daughter came to us and she's like, well, what can we do to put, get this formalized, what her wishes are? And, she just really, what was the most important was she wanted to be able to make medical decisions for her mom because she knew she didn't want to be on life support. And she really wanted to take care of that for her. And, we had to say, like, as attorneys, it would really be malpractice on our part to create documents for someone who doesn't have capacity. And so once you have Alzheimer's or, once you pass away, like there's really nothing we can do to help you at that point. So it's really, you've missed that opportunity to plan. If you have an illness that's already become onset, or you obviously, if you pass away, like, and you lose that opportunity to take the burden off of your loved ones to, take care of all of that stuff for you if you wait.
Right. So it's like trying to get car insurance after an accident. It's not going to happen.
100%.
Yeah. Okay. I know this is like just even as me and my husband go through this process and getting everything worked out and really thinking about, wow, like, yes, we all are going to pass away. And it's kind of weird to think about and talk about. But it's something necessary because it is a part of life. And I think, like you said, we got to do it now than later, because later could be that we're incapacitated or that we have passed and we cannot help the people that we love, or we can't even have the things done with the stuff that we want done with. So what makes you different than your competitors?
I think what you're talking about is, we really are, we look at our goal is to look at each family or person that comes in and really look at their specific situation and really try to understand their family dynamic and what's important to them. And that's why you've done the homework beforehand, and we really ask you a lot of questions and try to get the big picture and really make a plan that is going to work for each individual. We pride ourselves on, we're not just document preparers. You can go online and get a document, but at the end of the day, that's not necessarily going to work for you. And so what makes us different is really we have systems in place to make sure that we're looking at you as a person and we're really trying to meet your goals and to make sure that, if should you become incapacitated, that your wishes will be carried out, and that if you don't want to be on life support, that you won't be on life support. If you have children and you want to make sure that when you pass it, all of the kids are going to be treated equally, or whatever it is. Like, we really just want to make sure that we have that. We all have we understand your goals, and we make a plan that actually will work for you when you need it.
I think that's important, because just like when we're doing investments or buying insurances, we need somebody that's going to talk and ask questions and really do what's best for us in our situation, and not the easiest cookie cutter plan. And I find
it's not one size fits all.
No, and then in estate planning, setting up a trust or setting up all of the other documents, it's more than just the actual document itself. there's other things that are required to make sure the documents work. Like there's the funding of the plan, there's making every asset that you have is accounted for and that it's actually going to be controlled by the plan. These are all things that take extra work and time, and they need to, you need to make sure that, that everything's accounted for. And that's something that we do differently. And, we're proud of it.
Well, you should be. What is one piece of advice you can give people right now about the importance of getting this done?
I think what's so important is just to take a moment and reflect upon yourself and what's really important to you, and really think about what about estate planning might apply to you. Are you, a parent of young kids who really needs to name guardians so that your kids don't go into the care or custody of strangers for even 1 minute if something happened to you? Are you a business owner that needs to think about what is going to happen to your business if something happened to you? Is that business going to be able to continue on and thrive in your absence or your incapacity? Do you have a house? Are you a homeowner? Do you want to avoid probate and having your, kids or your beneficiaries pay 5% of what the gross value of your house is to probate? Just really look. People, like how you said at the beginning, Donna, was people think, oh, estate planning isn't for me. That, it really applies to so many people in so many different situations. A lot of people think oh, I don't need to plan for incapacity. And I'm here to tell you, you do. Because I've had really recently, and I'm tearing up a little bit because it's so fresh for me, but my father-in-law, the hospital because he was having trouble breathing a month ago. And he they're like, oh, well, your heart isn't working great. And we have this great artificial pump that we can put in your heart and it's going to beat for you. And oh, that's great. I'm going to go ahead and do that. And he had the surgery and all of his organs started failing while he was recovering from surgery. And he ended up on life support. And he had been so clear that he didn't want to be on life support. And he lived on life support for 12 days. And then they, let him go just a couple weeks ago. And it's you think, oh, I'm never going to be incapacitated. I'm not going to be in a car accident and be in a coma. But there's so many different situations where you can end up being incapacitated that you've never thought of. And it's so can happen to any person at any moment, at any time. And so you really need to think about what is important for you and for your loved ones, what you would want to happen.
And then once you think about that, if most people are going to say, oh yeah, I didn't really know about that before, but this does apply to me. We want you to know that it's so easy to get it done. It's, we try to make the process friendly and a little more lighthearted, but thorough, and just, it's so easy to get it done. And like you said, Donna, it really truly is a gift for the people that you love, that you thought enough about them to take care of that while you're able to, so they don't have to be the ones to, I don't know, does he want to be on life support? Would he want this? What, who would take the kids, to have your kids know oh, well, my parents thought about that. They wanted me to go to this person. It's just such a gift. And it's so easy to do. And it's so impossible to do if it's too late.
Yeah. Well, that was a powerful story. If that doesn't move people to do something, I don't know what will. But you guys, this is just such an important part of life, and getting this done and making sure you have things in order, just getting your money right, getting your finances right, investing, preparing for your future, but also preparing for the future of the generations that you're going to leave behind. It's also a way to what is the word I'm looking for? Build wealth for generational wealth building through a trust. And I mean, there's so much things you can do with a trust. We could probably spend 2 days talking about it, but I can't stress enough, you guys, go get this done. Now is the time to do it. Again, we don't know what tomorrow is going to bring, or even the next minute, when something's going to happen to us or somebody that we love. And if you have one, and you have somebody that maybe your parents or your grandparents, your brothers, your sisters, cousins, whatever, and they don't have it, encourage them to do that. And if you guys are not happy with your people, or you need somebody else to talk to, get a second opinion, a consultation, please contact these ladies. How can they get a hold of you?
So is there a way to put on our website or our phone number for everybody?
Yeah,
So we're
give
with
me your phone
Oregon
number.
Guy.
Start with your phone number real quick, because I could type it in right here.
Perfect. 562-396-5529.
And what is the website? Oh, do you guys see the chat? Can you guys see the chat?
Yes.
Okay, type it in there. Can you type it in?
Yeah. We will
I don't know where to type.
There should be down in the bottom right hand. It should say post a comment.
Oh my.
Should be.
It doesn't look.
Okay, it's okay. Go ahead and give me the website.
It's wizoricguy.com. WIEZORKGEYE.com.
All right. Did I spell it right?
No.
Of course I did it.
Okay.
It's not going to let me delete it.
Okay. It's okay. So we can try to figure this out. Oh, click on.
I'm going to look while you guys are doing
I'm gonna send it to you, Donna.
Okay, perfect.
I can chat with you, but I can't post a comment. So.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Maybe you can copy that and paste it in the comments.
Okay, where did it go? I don't even. Oh, there we go.
Chat.
Private chat. There we go. Okay, let's get the right spelling of this.
And then if somebody does have an estate plan, a lot of people don't really know what they have. We invite you to give us a call or reach out to us through our website so we'd be happy to look over your plan and let you know exactly what would happen if something happened to you. It's another service that we do provide. And we, would definitely provide, we would do that for free. We invite people to come in for a family wealth planning session with us. That's a free session. It's a working meeting where we send you homework beforehand. And when you come into our office, we actually go through all of your assets and your family dynamic and actually tell you, this is what would happen should something happen to you without a plan. And so we'd like to provide that education to people, and we invite all of your people to contact us so we can do that.
Right. So, I mean, at the very least, go in and just talk to them. I mean, that's not going to hurt you. You could find out what, is this right for you? Is it not right for you? Are they a good fit? Whatever it is, just go in and start the conversation. You guys won't regret it, I promise. These are awesome ladies. I want to thank you, ladies, so much for being here and helping everybody understand a little bit more about estate planning and that basically we probably all need it. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Donna.